Before you attempt any appliance repair, be sure to always unplug it from the wall. In some cases you can just put the cord out of the way like that. So what we have today is a 1994 Kenmore washer that has a leaky drain pump, so we're going to be replacing that. We have to remove the two screws securing the control panel on the front. Then once we do that, the control panel just pops up and we can flip it back to reveal the insides. Then taking a flat screwdriver, just remove the plug for the lid switch right there. Then these two brass clips just pop out like so. You just insert it in and push back until it pops out. Then you can open the lid and grab the front lip of the cabinet like that and pull it away from the machine and set it aside. Technically you can do this with the cabinet on and just tip the machine back, but it is a lot easier to access the bottom this way. Grab a pair of channel locks, remove the hose clamps so you can pull the hoses off the pump. You might have some water spill out though, so be ready with a towel in case that does happen. Then just two metal clips holding the pump on come off with a flat screwdriver like that. It's also possible to just pull them off by hand, but it's easier with the screwdriver. And the pump should just wiggle off. Hopefully it's not rusted on yours, but if it is, you should just be able to bang it off with a mallet or something. I wish they still made those old gray pumps. But of course that one's had its day, so it's time to put a new one on. Look at him, all brand new. If yours doesn't look like this, where the shaft is slightly protruding out of the housing and instead it's recessed like this, it's probably a good idea to replace it. By using one of the pump mounting clips, you can rotate the input shaft on the pump so that it lines up with the motor shaft, and you'll want to do that on the motor so that the two flat sides on the motor shaft are up and down. Then once you do that, you should be able to slide the hoses back onto the new pump and clamp everything down. I would recommend finding a spot on the rubber of the hose where the clamp hasn't already indented, so that way it's less likely to leak when you fill it back up with water. I do apologize for the poor camera angle, my hands were in the way there, but you hopefully should get the general idea of how to put it together. It's also easier if you leave the bottom clip in the motor and then you can just snap it in place. Then take the top one, rotate it 90 degrees and snap it in. And if you have any spare wire that's around 14 gauge or so laying around, you can make a jumper wire out of it and stick it into the lid switch connector so that you can run the machine without the cabinet. Although it's not recommended that you do this, so if you are going to do it, be very careful and do not touch any of the moving or electrical components. But of course now you get a better idea of the success of your repair once you get it put back together. Now it's just down to reassembling the machine. The front lip of the cabinet goes under the base frame rail. Then just tilt the cabinet back and make sure it's seated all the way in the rear on both sides. Use your foot to help if necessary. Tail end of the brass clips just goes up into the slot of the back panel, then just push it down into the holes of the cabinet. Then your lid switch goes back in. Flip your console right back down, screw the two screws into place, and you're done. Congratulations.